Welcome back.
Are we building a cabin or something?
No, we're not building a cabin.
We're in the drone factory right now because we're working on another project. Not a drone, but this has something to do with it. A year ago, we posted this video where we were clearing land with a brush hog that we rented.
Bought the land, rented the brush hog.
Made a really quick and dirty vlog.
Yeah, because we were lacking content.
Yes.
We were in a content desert.
We got this comment. Let me read it to you, okay? You normally make well thought out videos with good storytelling, but this was lacking. Some context would have been nice. Roasted!
Because it was true.
Because it was true. We were in a content desert and posted that video with no context. And
So like, what are we doing this weekend? Well, we're renting a brush hog and we're clearing out some brush from our land.
so we're gonna document it, and that's what we did. I didn't think it was gonna piss anybody off, but it did. We've been sitting on the footage of the entire process of purchasing our land because we were going to make a big polished show for this YouTube channel, kind of like Home Reno series. Link up here if you want to check it out.
But that was gonna be after we built a cabin on the land, which we never did.
We were greatly overthinking what we're doing with the project, and things have changed significantly since we decided to buy a piece of property first off in 2015, since we got the idea, then to actually acquiring the land, and then the 3 years that we sat on it and did nothing with it.
Yeah, but in that time, like, Becky got super into camping. If you told me, like, say, even 3 years ago, he's like, you know what? Becky's gonna be really into camping and she's gonna like wanna go outdoors. She's gonna chop wood. She's wanna cook over the fire. Just this winter, she was like, I think I wanna go camping in the yard when it's snowing out. And I'm just like, have fun. I'm going along for the ride. It's an adventure to me.
You're a real gem for coming.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's kind of created a nice little compromise for us because I've been able to go on these wild and wacky helicopter adventures, bring my favorite person in the world along.
Aw,
and she's been able to have fun by, you know, packing for the trip, making these, you know, like camping
making
kits and like, okay, which tent are we gonna take this time? What tools we're gonna use to cook over and make the fire? So it's kind of allowed us to sort of coexist in the hobbies we do, and both of us kind of get something out of it.
Yeah.
Because it's no surprise, if you've been on this channel, Becky does not like flying in helicopters.
And Chris doesn't really like camping that much.
It's fun, it's an adventure, and I have a high tolerance for discomfort.
Yeah,
so.
You would be a great adventurer.
So anyway, that's kind of how we got into the outdoors, and that's kind of taken over Becky's life. It wasn't until we were camping on like a paid campground that we realized we own land.
Why are we paying money to just be on somebody else's property?
Right, and so that kind of like spurred the idea to kind of develop campsites on our land. And also too, like if we ever wanted to build a structure on the land too, we could like stay at the campsites, put in a few solid days of work rather than having to drive to it every time. And we figured, you know what, the first project we're gonna do, or the first project we're gonna do, is develop our land into like sort of these multi-focal campsites that have like different areas and we can enjoy more of our land. So that's kind of what we decided to do with it.
Yeah, now this is a private campsite for us. Like it's not gonna be for rent, it's just for us. Yeah, we basically started with a car camping area for both of our trucks, and then we've moved on to building tent platforms. We plan to build 2 different size ones for different size tents, or if we have guests. We're gonna be doing out like a fire pit area, woodshed, hopefully an outhouse because we're pooping in bags right now. You know, using the bathroom, we have to set up a tent, a toilet. We're not pooping in holes because it is our property that we're gonna be, you know, developing. So if we poop in one area and then we dig it up next year, that's gonna suck, you know? Or even if we dig it up in like 3 weeks from now, who knows, right? So that's why we've been pooping in bags and packing it out.
The bag contains the poop, the tube contains the bags.
So we have like a lot of plans of projects that we want to do on the property that isn't the bunkhouse or the cabin, but we also still have that dream of building something like that, a structure of some sort.
And the original vision, I think, for us two city slickers back a few years ago, like before we were ever consider ourselves outdoorsy in the least, it was always going to be a like full amenities, essentially just a second on the grid house with like full internet, in-floor heating, running water,
flushing toilets,
well and septic, you know,
washer and dryer.
It was going to be just a house basically
Yes.
in the woods, but that has very radically changed, and who knows, maybe in 10 years time we will build something like that, or who knows how long. As it stands now, the goal is for us to more so just be outdoors. And as we've gotten more outdoorsy, I think we've kind of realized that like the chores that you do when you are camping can be therapeutic.
Definitely.
And that's almost like half of it. It's like you're not just sitting there on your phone, you're like gathering and chopping wood, you're creating and tending into a fire. So it's these like menial tasks that kind of, it's almost like that's the draw of being out in like the woods, because it's a simpler existence.
When we were talking about the footage, the reason why we didn't want to share it is because we wanted to make a show, kind of like the Home Reno series. But We wanted this one to be much more sustainable. We wanted to be able to push it out quicker for you and just have it be a little bit more fun and less daunting to make. Our new series, Sleepy Creek, it's gonna be a little bit more chill, a little bit more vlog style. We're gonna be mixing building with camping and outdoor cooking. It's gonna be a smash up, but also a little bit reminiscent of our old videos as well.
Kind of like our old vlogs, you know, it was just sort of like, hey, what we're doing. There was no complex storyline involved. It's very literal, very linear. It's gonna be kind of maybe a little bit more caught in the details. The home reno series, it was, we do a full room from start to finish and we take you through that entire process in 20 to 30 minutes. This is gonna be like maybe 10, 15-minute videos. They're not gonna be like, oh, this is us building a cabin from start to finish, or this is us building a tent platform from start to finish. It's just gonna be, hey, what are we doing on the land today? How we kind of deal with some of the challenges of building things off grid. And it's gonna be more polished than just standard vlogs, and it's gonna be more cohesive because it's gonna be an actual vlog series. Kind of deserved its own branding for that reason.
Yeah, so it has its own branding, and it has some of its own styling, kind of its own format. Some feedback that we got from the home reno series from you was that you were expecting the home reno series to be a little bit more DIY tutorial based versus like an entertaining show. So we kind of took that feedback and applied it to Sleepy Creek. So within this series, while we are also showing camping and showing outdoor cooking and what we're getting up to, we're also talking a little bit more about how we're doing things, kind of the process, the things we're using, the tools we're using, not necessarily like how to build a deck, but more so how we're building this deck for our needs and why.
With plenty of disclaimers saying that we are
not
professionals. The podcast, we said it was sort of reminiscent of a meandering stream. Like, we have no idea where this series is going to go. It's not like we finished the entire event and then we're retrospectively constructing a story telling it. It's like we're doing this in real time. We might have another use for our land that we come up with in a year's time, 2 years time, 10 years time, but it's metaphorically appropriate with calling it the Sleepy Creek.
Yes. If you want to listen to the podcast, we kind of go a little bit more in depth into the concept of this series. So I'll link it up here. It's in the description box as well. All right, we'll roll a little teaser here for you, and this is what you can kind of expect. Buying a piece of property has been our dream for the last 10 years. This was supposed to happen when we lived in Newfoundland, Canada.
But we are now in Buffalo, New York.
We're here for a long weekend. Got a ton of power tools rented. We got the Rivian set up for camping.
This one's easier than an excavator. We need to set up our level, what our baseline is. Ready?
Oh, yeah. Having a structure on our land feels very cool. It feels like ours now.
Dinner's done.
Dinner's ready.
Have we showed them the creek?
No.
All right, back to work.
This series isn't going to really be rolled out like our other series. As Chris said, we're kind of going to be documenting things as we go, so they won't be posted, I was going to say consensually. They're not going to be posted sequentially. They're going to be posted as they're done. So they'll probably go up, one every 2 or 1 every 3 weeks. So don't expect them every Sunday, but every couple of Sundays you're going to get a new episode of Sleepy Creek. And I'm pumped. They're fun videos. They're exciting. But the first one documents the entire process of us building our land, how we got to that point, and a little bit about 2015 us and where the whole idea for that came from.
Back to our roots.
I'm so excited about the content that we're producing this year because doing the Sleepy Creek vlogs feels like our original content. It feels like going back to our roots, and it feels like where we kind of belong.
Despite us not liking the outdoors then.
So now we're taking kind of like building and then mashing up with our more recent passions of camping, being outdoors, and then our new passion of kind of cooking, which happened over the pandemic.
Adventure-based filmmaking. Vehicle-based adventure.
Filmmaking.
And let us know in the comments below if you have any questions about all the things that are involved with buying the land, how we got the land, all that stuff, because we have no direction with this. There's no script on this or even plan about how we're gonna roll this out. So you got questions about one certain aspect of it, we can make a whole episode on it.
Let us know in the comments and we will try to cover it for you. But eventually, hopefully, we'll get that bunkhouse on the go. I have been thinking over the winter time how nice it would be to have a little place that has a wood stove. It's just like, go in there and watch the snow falling and chop all the wood and
she's fantasizing now.
And then I would I really would like to do that.
Okay, we're gonna end it here.
Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next Sunday for another video.
Whoa, where are you going?
Under the table, man. Chris, oh my God, honey baby.
What's wrong?
Your sweatshirt is disgusting with drools all over it.
What are you gonna do about it?
Yeah, look, you look
like
what?
We've started this video. I am committing to it.
They're not gonna be posted consensually. That's not right. Contextually. What is the word? Conceptually. They're not going to be posted sequentially. What's the fucking word?
I can't remember now. I just said it. Now you've given me so many inappropriate variations.
Consecutively.
They're not going to be posted consecutively.
No.